Oh, this place has NDBs. You're gonna have to remember that the NDBs are in Hurl 5. I go back and forth though, because like, I want to use them because they're fun and they look cool and sound cool, but you know, people get mad at you. And I have to decide, like, do I care if people get mad that I use NDBs? Is it like a weird thing that people get mad, or is it legitimate? You know, that's what I'm trying to decide. So on the one hand, like, yeah, you don't want to be crashing, you're not crashing, you don't want to be dropping other people's frames if they have bad PCs, but then again, you're like, not my fault if you have a bad PC, you know? I don't know. I haven't decided yet, because I feel like you can't play a game and worry about what other people have, right? That's crazy. Only in this game would you actually worry about other people's frame rates. Only in Star Citizen. And then that's a good thing and it's a bad thing. It's like if I'm playing Apex, I'm not like, oh, this gun might drop this guy's frames if I use the L-Star, you know, or because I'm sure that does happen. Like, it's got to be a thing, right? It's got to be a thing in other games. We just don't care because it's another game. But somehow in Star Citizen, because it's an alpha, or who knows why we care, we do care. I don't know, there seems to be like a moral imperative in Star Citizen that's not, it's not in other games, and it makes sense that it wouldn't be in other games, because normally the video games I play are about killing people, and you're not really worried too much about, you know, moral imperatives when you're killing people.
Thank you.
Although you can kill someone in a moral way, I guess, but I guess because it's not an in-game thing, even though it is, it's like, but it's not like cheating though, you know, because obviously cheating is adding something into the game for only you that gives you an advantage, whereas this is in-game, but some people can't use them or deal with someone else using them because, or I should say, someone else's game can't deal with other people using them because of, you know, the frame drop thing. And it does drop frames for both parties, the person using the NDBs and the person receiving the NDBs, but if the person using the NDBs has a better PC and the person receiving the NDB fire has a PC that's on the very shelf of being good enough for the game or not, then you might drop that person's frames so low that they can't operate. You know, it's like, here's what I think. I'll tell you what I think. Using NDBs in the game is fair enough. It's fair. All is fair in war. However, if you want to be a nice guy, you won't use them. And I'm just trying to decide, am I gonna be a nice guy, or am I gonna be a guy who's gonna have fun regardless of the cost to other players? I don't know, because it's fun using NDBs. They're cool, they're different. What I've done in the past is, like, if I have a ship and I'm playing PvP, right? NDBs for bounty hunting, who cares? If this is all about PvP, if I'm playing PvP, if I'm going after real life bounties or real life people, I'm okay with using NDBs if it's like M50 versus Gladius, right? Because I'm at a very large disadvantage in like an off meta ship. So I think if you have an off meta ship, NDBs all the way, right? Because it's like a way to make up for, if you have a good PC, a way to make up for your disadvantage, I guess. Because then you can't really claim, like, if you're in a Gladius and you get beat by an M50 with NDBs, you can't really claim, like, oh, I dropped frames. Like, bro, you're in a Gladius. It's just, like I said, it only matters if your PC is right on the edge of being good enough anyway. Me, personally, if someone attacked me with NDBs, I wouldn't have a problem. Just personally, that's me. I wouldn't have a problem. I'd say, oh, NDB is cool, whatever. I'm aware that I might drop some frames. Gotta be extra careful, but it's fair. It's in the game. It's fair. I think what people say a lot that rubs me the wrong way is, like, you will say, if it's in the game, it's fair. But they say, oh, it's an alpha. So just because it's in the game doesn't make it, you know, actually part of the game. Because it's an alpha and we're playtesting and we have to have, you know, in good faith. I don't think so. I mean, especially now, we're far enough in. It's in the game, man. Like, they know what they're doing. They know what's in the game. There's some stuff like distortion. Like, if you come at me with distortions, I'm like, okay, well, that's really lame. I'm gonna complain about it being really lame. But I'm not going to complain that you're cheating or that you're somehow, like people do with NDBs, I'm not going to complain that like, oh, you're using like an exploit, you know, it's just cheesy. And maybe NDBs are a little cheesy. Maybe that's what it is. I'd be willing to concede that. But at the end of the day, you know, like Seeker 9s are cheesy. No one complains about that. At the end of the day, if you're trying to dogfight in good faith, and that's a time when good faith does apply. Here's the thing. They made me travel all the way from Orison to Lyria, from Crusader to Arcorp, just for the dude to fly himself into the surface of the moon and die. Yeah, so I mean, there's cheesy stuff that I'll complain about, because the thing is, you can use cheesy stuff as long as you're just memeing, you know. If you're trolling, EMPs, distortions, you can't say, oh, I was better than you, you know. It's just like if you use an OP thing, if you cheese your way to victory, you still won. You're definitely still the victor. And it's all is fair. But it would be weird to, just like multiple people versus one person, you know? If you 2v1 a guy and that one guy beats both of you, he's got major rights to brag about that, right? Obviously, he's better. He's just so much better that even two of you couldn't take him out. But if two of you attack one guy and you beat that one guy, there's really nothing to brag about. You know, if you had lost, it would have been a tragedy. You know, that would have been bad. So you can say, ha, we won. GG's. You can't say like, oh, we won, you suck, you know, like you could if you were the one who beat the two. It's just, I feel like it's the same thing like with distortions, with Seeker 9s. Like you don't come out in a Retaliator and Seeker 9 somebody and be like, oh, you suck, I'm so much better than you, because, you know, there's no skill involved in that. If you're dumbfiring, then maybe, especially with a Retaliator. If you dumbfire kill on a moving flying ship with a Retaliator, you've got bragging rights. But you see what I mean. I mean, maybe NDBs falls into that category of like, all's fair, but you don't get to brag about it. Just like spamming missiles. If you spam missiles, I think the respectable dogfighter doesn't use missiles. They use laser repeaters or ballistics. And that's normally what's considered a duel. You know, if you're gonna have a duel, I think even ballistics, I think repeaters all the way. If you're gonna say, I dogfight people and I am better than them if I win, then it's laser repeaters and that's it. And if you beat someone in a 1v1 dogfight with, you know, some cheese thing, you might actually be better than them, but you don't know. That's the problem. Like, you might be better than them, but you only really know you're better than someone if you use the same loadout as they use. And I think the standard PvP loadout in Star Citizen for, you know, respectable PvPers is always just going to be laser repeaters on a light fighter with all the, you know, normal components and stuff. 1v1, you know, that's that way in every game. When you 1v1 someone in Call of Duty, you use the same gun. It's all about the premise, right? If you go into Star Citizen and you're like, let's 1v1, I will bring whatever I want to bring, you bring whatever you want to bring, then that is another way to determine, like, because better doesn't always mean mechanical skill, you know, it's mental. So if you say bring whatever you want to bring, and I bring an Idris with a full crew of gunners, and you bring, you know, whatever, and I win, then it's like, oh, I'm better than you because I was smarter. But if you say dogfight in light fighters, it's assumed, you know, you're not going to bring something weird. And even then, just even with like distortions, I wouldn't be. Distortions only really work well with two people, one with distortions and one with like a regular guns to finish it off. So I'm not saying distortions 1v1 are like super OP or something. I'm just saying there is kind of an honor system in Star Citizen, and I appreciate that there is that. But also, unless it's a predetermined duel, anything goes, man. I wish they would fix that FPS issue, because I really want to use NDBs on everything, because they're cool. They sound cool and they look cool. Maybe I will run an NDB Arrow just for kicks. Who cares? At the end of the day, it's a game, man. It's a game.